Hi guys, today I am doing a review of Amber Smoke by Kristin Cast. I was provided with an early copy through Netgalley, but of course this review is my honest review and what I personally thought about the book. I described the genre as a YA fantasy with paranormal elements and also mythology. The main character is 23, so you could argue new adult, but I think there are other things that represent new adults and I don't really think it fits into that category, at least not the first book. I don't know how the rest of the series is going to be, but so far I would say it's kind of YA. It is kind of hard for me to describe the plot of this book, so I'm not going to say too much, but basically it takes place in our world, but it also takes place in an underworld in which people get after they die when they were bad people in this life and they are being tortured for eternity in there. But barriers between the underworld and our world have been opened, and so both of these worlds are in big danger. So the three furries that are kind of leading the underworld are sending their son to go into our world to find a girl, and she's basically the only key to save both worlds. I really thought the plot sounded extremely interesting and I was definitely not disappointed with that. I thought it was a very interesting story. I was really interested to find out more about the world and the problem in the world, because to be honest it took me quite a while to even get what was going on. But I do have to say that I found it really interesting and I really want to read more of the series. I also thought it was fast-paced and very easy to get through. I read this in a really short time and it has short chapters, which I also find really great. The book is basically from 3 points of view, which at first I thought I would find confusing, but to be honest it was another thing that kind of kept me reading and was really interesting to see the whole story from 3 points of view. But it took some time for the points of view to get together and I thought this book was basically too short. I feel like the story ended where it only should have begun. It took a really long time to finally, you know, have something happening, and I felt like this whole first book was just an introduction into the series, and without even knowing the second book I already feel like the first and the second book could have been one book. That was definitely one of the points why I only gave it 3 out of 5 stars, because I felt like there was not enough happening, not enough explanation of what is going on in the underworld, why he has to find this certain girl, where she's from, what her story is, why does she have to do anything with the underworld. There are just so many questions that are unanswered and I really do not like that. I just want to have as many questions answered as possible, and I know that with a series you can't answer all of the questions in the first book, but I feel like we were only just introduced to the characters and the problem, and it made the whole experience really weird. It's not really a spoiler to tell you that of course there's some kind of romance. The task of the boy from the underworld is to find this girl, and of course they are connected in some kind of way, but I thought this whole thing about the plot absolutely unnecessary. There was not really anything happening. We just saw her talk about how hot he is and him talk about how he feels something inside of him because they are connected, and I am totally for romance. I love romance and I never really think that romance is unnecessary, but in this case I felt like the first book definitely did not need these things at all. There was not a lot, but I already thought that this was kind of annoying. I would totally have loved to be developing in the second book, but in the first book I really thought there was not really a place for that. That's just my personal opinion. Of course I think everyone has to judge that for themselves, but I just want to say that as a romance lover I did not think that it was anything that we needed in this book. That is already all that I have to say about this book, because as I said I felt like it was just an introduction into this world and I don't really want to judge too much before I haven't read the next book in the series, because as I said I think it has a lot of potential. I think it's going to be a really interesting story and has quite cool characters. I kind of want to compare it to City of Bones, where most of the people say that the first book is also kind of an introduction into the whole world, and a lots of people don't want to continue reading the series because of City of Bones being kind of boring and hard to get through. But if you continue, it really is just a nice setup for the whole world and the whole story. And I just kind of guess and hope that this is the same with Ember Smoke. So I definitely have a lot of hopes because I see a lot of potential in this one, and I guess we can only fully judge until we have the second book or more books or however many books there are going to be. So would I recommend it? I'm not sure. If you like mythology, then I would probably totally recommend it. If mythology is something strange to you, then I'm not really sure. I definitely didn't think it was bad. I just want to wait until I read more. And yeah, maybe if you're not sure about this, just wait until the second book comes out, and then you can kind of marathon both of these books and just have more. That was my review for Ember Smoke by Kristin Cast. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!